Now, here's where it's interesting for me, right? Since you said, I'm trying to get a bit deeper on this, is that you said that, tech, sorry, we are going towards a tech perspective where, you start placing bets on tech. But when you're working at AMCs, you said it would not work at traditional AMCs, right? Such bets. So, um, please correct me if I'm wrong anywhere, right? Traditionally, it would not work at AMCs, but these were the bets you took when you started your own PMS. Now, in this, I wanted, yeah, please go ahead. You're saying something.
Sorry, just to clarify, it's not that a tech fund cannot be launched in an AMC, and very often they are. There are, in fact, two other
Okay,
tech funds currently in the market launched by larger AMCs. The
right.
ability to launch a thematic fund when everyone hates that theme and no one is
Hmm.
interested, that is
Hmm.
something very difficult in a larger financial institution.
So in this exactly, तो यही मुझे यही pulse पकड़ना था, but I would just could not frame it into the language. But the idea is that I'm not going to use the word rebelliousness, but that boldness, that braveness, that bravado exists, right? So, what is it that you saw differently? I'm not talking about, so you have accredited that success to luck, but it's easy to say luck, but you had seen something that others didn't. What was that? That is what I wanted to understand. The different kind of thinking that came into play.
Sanjot, so honestly, I wouldn't use any of those terms on myself, right? I believe I'm someone who's exceedingly conservative, right?
Right,
And
right, right.
right,
It's
it's
I
fine
understand
me to
these
kind
words are
of
very extreme, but
right.
it's just to see things differently. You need
No,
something,
yeah,
right?
so it's actually about seeing things differently, right? Because see, honestly, the way I look at it, when if we
Right,
buy into companies like a Zomato, a Paytm, a Nykaa, when they've fallen 50-60% off their IPO prices, right?
right,
We have a very, very deep understanding and we have done a tremendous amount of research into how these business models run. Before we launched the fund, not only had we spoken to the companies, but we had also spoken to a lot of people outside the company ecosystem, but who are part
right.
of this digital space, right? To really understand the thinking and the rationale around how these companies run, why there's such aggressive losses in the near term, why they become very valuable as time goes on. We've seen something very, very similarly happen in the US. Most digital platforms in India are doing nothing but following the same digital playbook, kind of, which has been written by the Amazons, the Googles, the Facebooks, etc. of the world, right? We've seen how they invested upfront to kind of create a certain amount of scale in the business, get users onto the platform. And once you've achieved a particular level of stability, you could shift your focus towards monetization, leading to very attractive kind of profit growth and the emergence of very large companies. There were a lot of things which were very, very evident to us. And the reason I said I won't use the words like bravado or risk taking,
Right, right.
honestly, we found it as a very clear bet, right? As in, how could you
Hmm.
go wrong? There was no lack of understanding in our minds around the
Hmm.
fact that these companies had raised more than enough capital to turn profitable.
Hmm.
We were clear about the path to profitability. If
Right,
you go into the kind of individual cost line structures of each of these companies, you could
right.
very clearly attribute specific cost structures that were linked to this hyper growth phase, which aren't required as you kind of start focusing on monetization. We believe there were very strong competitive barriers to entry, which allowed these companies to actually start putting on user fees of all types, launch new areas of monetization, reduce costs as they start shifting the focus towards monetization. Honestly, it was a bet that was exceedingly clear to us. And which is
Hmm.
where, at least from my mind, there was no bravado, there was no risk of launching such a strategy. It was just
Right.
something which was very, very clearly there to make money of.